YouTube, it's Allison here, also known as Lasan Faye, and today I am here with a brand new Zen Doodle with me video for the second full week in June. And yeah, so as always, I do these doodles based upon the Zen Art Challenge, which I'll link in the description down below. And I will also include links to all the sources that I can find for any of the tangles I use down in the description below. So let's go ahead and dive on into the tangles. The first tangle I have for you all today, I actually don't know the name of, and I don't have a good source for to tell you who came up with this, but I'll go ahead and walk you through the directions. And the way you want to get started is you want to start by drawing a leaf. And so the way I draw leaves is I kind of start at the pointed end. And then I come in, swell and curve at the bottom, and then go back out. Almost like a water drop as well. I find them to be pretty similar. And then on the bottom portion of the leaf, you want to draw just like a few little veins going up. Then on the left-hand side of the leaf, you want to echo the curve of the left-hand side, but a little bit further out. You want to do that, I'll say twice. And you want to similarly do this on the right-hand side. And that gives you one leaf. You can stack these leaves by drawing another leaf coming off of the side here, which I'm going to have it kind of vanish into the ether. But yeah, that creates a chain of leaves, and you can throw in as many or as few as you want. But that's all it takes for this tangle. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. The second tangle I have for you all today is also an unknown tangle. Though this one I think definitely should have a name. But whoever created the picture that I'm using managed to chop off the name of the tangle as well as the name of the creator. So if you, the YouTube viewing public, would like to help me figure out the source of this tangle, I would greatly appreciate it. But to get started with this one, we're going to start by making the top part of a cloud. Then from this cloud, and just a little bit, left or right of center, it's up to you. You want to come up, create a curve that swirls in a bit, and then you want to undo that swirl, getting progressively larger on your way out. Then on the outer curve, you want to make another top of the cloud and make a little swirl that goes the other way. And repeat as you desire to fill up the space that you're in. And you can also choose to decorate these in various ways. So for example, with the first one, I can come in and do little stripes. Or as an alternate suggestion, you could come in and do dots. You can kind of choose to fill these in however you wish. You don't have to fill them all in the same. You could, though, if you wanted to. You could also add details into the little cloud shapes that we made. But otherwise, this is very free form. Do what you want with it. And I think it's absolutely adorable. So, before I gush over this a lot more, let's go ahead and move on to the next tangle. Alright, the third tangle I have for you today, I actually know the name of, and that is Antidotes, and it is by Anita Laverly. And the way that you want to do this one is you want to start with a base point at the bottom of your space, and you're going to make a small teardrop, and then you're going to reverse it, following the teardrop around, and do that a third time. Then off to one of the sides, you want to repeat this same process. And you can do it to both sides, and you kind of just want to fill in everywhere that you can. You can fill this in as much as you want, leave as much empty space as you want. You could do more circle layers, you could do fewer, you could color this in, you could add other embellishments. But I'm going to leave Antidotes here. I think this is actually a really nice tangle to do and just get lost and experiment with. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed it too. But let's go ahead and move on to the next tangle. The fourth tangle I have for you all today is called Sprigs, and this looks like it is by Michelle B. And this is one of those that you can fill in as much as you want again, but I'm only really going to do one iteration of it. So the way you get started with Sprigs is you want to create a line that you are going to double up. And I say line and I really mean curve. So no, I did not intend to draw a straight line there. Then along this line, you want to draw these dashed X's, and for the dashes, you want 2 dashes on either side of the base line that you drew that are forming this X. And again, you can have as many or as few as you want. This is how much I can fit within the space that I have. So the next step that you want to do is for the pairs of dashes that you have going in the same direction on the same side, you want to connect the farthest points of them together using a parenthesis shape. You want to do that on both sides. Then the next thing that you want to do is you want to triple up that parenthesis line that you just did on each of the leaves. And that is it for Sprigs. I think this is a very pretty tangle. Once it's finished, it definitely looks rough a little bit in the middle, but I actually really love the end result. And I would totally use this in my own artwork. Maybe actually combine it with the first tangle that we did in this video. But again, you can make these little sprigs as large or as small as you want. You can add more of them to the space that you're filling in, or you could do one of them and have it be a border for whatever piece you're working on. There's a lot of options here. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave this one here, move on to the next tangle. The fifth tangle I have for you all today is called Blooming Butter. It's also by Michelle B. And the way you want to get started with this one is we're going to make 5 pairs of eyelash shaped lines, similarly in size as well. So with the pairs of lines, you want them to be fairly close to each other, but when you're drawing another set of lines, you want to have some space there. Alright, so keeping in mind where we drew our original pairs, between any 2 adjacent pairs of lines, we want to create a circle whose diameter is the distance between those pairs. And once those are in place, we're going to connect the outer ends by doing a double scallop. And you want to have that scallop doubled up. Then, coming off of the circles within each petal, you want to do a line that goes out towards the apex of each curve. And that is Blooming Butter. And you can choose to do multiple of these flowers together. You could mix them in with other tangles, obviously, like sprigs right before it, or the leaf tangle that we did right at the beginning, or even the leafy vine that we did at the end of my last Zen Doodle video. There's a lot of options there. This is actually one of the few that I have done before, and I've done it using a tiling method and doing multiple of these flowers. And I think that looks really cool. I think any of the other suggestions I make would look really neat. But it's entirely up to you, and you can also choose to fill in this flower however you want. But I'm going to go ahead, leave this one here, and move on. The sixth tangle I have for you all today is called Fatback, and it's by Yuru Chen, who's one of my favorite tangle creators. And this is another tiling one that I'm only going to do one iteration of. And so once you have a grid pattern set up for your tiles, what you want to do is at the center of one of your tiles, you want to draw a circle. And then on one of the diagonals, you want to draw a line that comes up, meets the circle, and finishes on the other side of the circle. Then for the 2 outer endpoints of the line, you want to connect them using a parenthesis. And then you want to make a line that goes along the other diagonal that skips over the area you've already drawn in. And similarly, you want to connect those endpoints using a parenthesis. And that is the base of the tangle. And you could do a couple of things to embellish it. You could come in and do lines that follow your parenthesis curve and echo it. You could shade areas in, but this is just what I'm going to do. And that is fat X. And in terms of tiling it, it might be fun to rotate which diagonal is on top as you switch across the various tiles. But other than that, like, do what you want, make yourself happy. So I'm gonna leave this one here and move on to the final tangle. The seventh and final tangle I have for you all today is called Pommes 2, and it's by Dami. And with this tangle, you do need a grid, and your grid should be a 4x4 or a multiple of 4 by a multiple of 4, because that 4 is kind of necessary to have everything aligned correctly. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my 4x4 grid. All right, so now I have my 4x4 grid, and what I'm going to do is at every other intersection of lines, I am going to draw an X. So that's the X factor of our title. And then I'm just going to kind of fill this in to make more of a star. Then on the intersections of lines that I missed, I'm going to do a 4-pointed star. And actually, I'm going to use my slightly thicker pen for this because I'm going to fill these in. And voila, that is Pommes X2. And yeah, this could be a really fun little tile to do in any piece that you're working with. And I suppose really it's not so much that you need a multiple of 4, it's just you need 4 initially and then pairs after that in your grid. So even number is greater than 4 by another even number greater than 4. That's really how you want your grid set up to be. But otherwise, this is super cute, I think anyways. And yeah, I encourage you to experiment with it. There's a couple of examples off on the right of how the creator modified it slightly to mess around with some of the dimension on it. And yeah, I think it's a whole lot of fun. And yeah, I'm gonna leave this tangle here. All right, so that is it for this week's Zen Doodles. I really hope you enjoyed doing these with me. And if you like this video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more Zentangle videos by me, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. And I will look forward to seeing you all next week. So in the meantime, in between time, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye.